In this video, you will learn about literal and non-literal meanings, or literal and non-literal language. Sometimes we call literal and non-literal language figurative language. That's when you use a word or phrase that does not have its normal everyday literal meaning. So here are a couple of examples. Wise as an owl. We don't really think of an owl being wise since we can't talk to an owl or learn from an owl. So this is an expression. This would be non-literal language. Here's another example. My dog ate my homework. We know that usually dogs don't eat our homework. This is usually just an excuse for why we didn't get our work done at home. This is also an example of non-literal language, since the dog didn't really eat the homework. So let's talk about the difference between literal meanings versus non-literal meanings. So in a literal language or literal phrase, the text means exactly what it says, such as my little sister was playing with toy cars. She drove them over the carpet, kitchen floor, and tables and chairs. She even drove them up the wall in the living room. So here, the little sister can actually take a toy car and drive it up the wall in the living room. So this is literal because the text means exactly what it says. But over here, when we look at non-literal meanings, the text does not mean what it says. For example, there was a little bird sitting outside my window. All day long it chirped and whistled and sang. It was pretty at first, but it got so annoying by the end of the day. It drove me up the wall. Now here, this person is using the expression drove me up the wall to mean that it really annoyed them or bothered them. But really, the person did not drive up the wall. So here the text does not mean exactly what it says. Here are a few other examples that you might have heard before. That test was a piece of cake. This would be non-literal since a test is not really a piece of cake. Usually when we hear someone say this, they're trying to make the point that the test was easy. It's raining cats and dogs. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never seen cats and dogs fall out of the sky. When you hear someone say this, they're using this non-literal phrase to explain that it's raining very hard. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Well, of course we're not really going to eat a horse. This would be an example of non-literal language, meaning that we're just really, really hungry. And the last example, she was bouncing off the wall after lunch. We usually mean that someone has a lot of energy or they're very hyper or very active, but we don't normally mean someone is actually bouncing off of a wall. Now you have learned about literal and non-literal language, and it's time to do your practice activity on your activity list.